Welcome back. Assalamu alaikum. It is exactly 11:35 a.m. We're now going to be joined by Islamic Careline, and Naeema Dangor is going to be talking to us about parenting. She is a social auxiliary worker at Islamic Careline. She's also a professional counselor with almost 30 years of experience. Alhamdulillah. She did her social auxiliary work at NPAT. She specializes in trauma, parenting, and marital counseling. Assalamu alaikum. Naeema Dangor, lovely talking with you. Welcome to the show.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope you're well. To all the listeners as well.
Nice to have you here. There's a bit of a popping noise on the phone. Let's hope it's not going to be too disruptive as we go through. But let's just dive straight into the program. Naeema, what would you say are the most important skills you work with when parents come in for counseling?
Okay, so Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We begin with, first of all, before we go into the skills, we usually, when the parents come in, we usually go into the no-go zones for parents to learn. So, so that they can actually, they know what to actually do before we go into the parenting skills. So, for example, we say to parents, do not shout, do not use violence, do not threaten kids, do not guilt kids with reminders, do not use accusations with no proof, do not blame others or the kids for anything gone wrong. Show them the difference between the wrong and the right. Teach them to say, learn to not mock kids, do not give unclear instructions or orders. We ourselves as parents should not be bad examples. We should not disagree with our spouses in front of the kids. We always make sincere dua for our kids, for tawheed, for protection from shirk and evil. So we always check our behavior first, just and set examples for our kids. We check, with siblings fight, when siblings fight, actually, we should not choose sides. We should be fair and honest and expose them to what is right and wrong without humiliation. We should actually, as parents, spend quality time with our kids, get to know them. Each one is different and needs a different approach. So, it's important for us to spend time with kids separately as well as together as a family. Having said that, we should remember that they are not just our kids. They are our clearest glimpse of what it is to love somebody more than ourselves. Having said that, I'd like to go now into the, into the session. So basically, what we do is we contact the parents for 6 sessions, depending on the outcome of each session, right? So what we do is we actually work with the following skills, starting with the most common skill, which is called self-awareness. And then we move on to the next session, which is relationship management. And then we go on to expectations of parents, parenting styles, responsible disciplining, conflict resolution. And then also we identify areas, when we look at parents and we see what kind of problems they come in. So we brainstorm them and then we try and find possible ways to come to amicable and responsible outcomes for the parents and for the kids as well. Basically,
you spoke. All right. Sorry for the interruption. You spoke about the important issues that you need to point out and the different almost modules that you talk them through. You also mentioned self-awareness. How important is that in parenting? And are parents responsible enough to be able to see their own flaws and work on it so that they can be more supportive parents?
Important, for us, first of all, we always begin our first session with self-awareness. The self-awareness with regard to parenting is the most essential skill, as it's so important for every person, regardless, to know who we are. We have to know who we are. So for any parent to first understand themselves, for the spouses themselves to be on the same page with regards to how they want to bring their kids up, their belief system, their values, etc. So parents also need to understand that their child and the child's beliefs and keeping in touch with their own and the child's feelings at all times is so important. So, for example, we ask parents about how they feel to be parents. After they give birth to the child, how does it affect them? What changes had it brought to them as parents? So we look into matters like co-parenting, especially in the situation of parents living separately, which is so common in this day and age. We look at the history of parents in terms of how they were raised and how their upbringing influences their parenting. Basically, we keep parents in touch with themselves and their children. So that's basically what we cover in our first session with self-awareness.
In your
can I go on to
experience, sorry,
Sorry?
carry on.
So I was saying, so once we've tackled first self-awareness, we go on to the next session. So we usually tackle relationships in the second session by encouraging you to get to know your children better. So here we look at getting in touch with your kids, becoming familiar with their habits, their likes, their dislikes, their behavior and responses or reactions, to certain situations. We look at their strengths, we look at our strengths, and then we look at the challenging areas that we have with our kids. Why do we have issues? What's wrong in terms of why are things going wrong? So we tackle those things and we get an understanding, we give parents a better understanding of why things happen the way they are. Parents also need to understand that all children are different. Dealing with each one is different. But also, you have to treat in a fair and a just manner, especially if you have more than one kid, because each one of them are different. You look at them differently. We also look at ingredients of strong relationships and getting familiar with your children, like the temperament, the roles. In today's day and age, it's so important to make them understand the roles of boys and girls, especially at different ages and at different stages of their life. And knowing that we're obviously dealing with challenges of in the roles as boys and girls. Then we move on to session 3.
Okay, before you move on to session 3, we need to go for an ad break. And when we come back, we'll talk some more regarding effective parenting.
Okay.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
The chaos and destruction in the Gaza Strip is beyond comprehension. Virtually everyone is displaced, hungry, and in urgent need of life-saving humanitarian support. The Al-Imdad Foundation has been working tirelessly to address the health, nutrition, and water needs of the population. Our hospital, water deliveries, and hot meal programs are made possible with your support. Your donation, big or small, is a lifeline for those in dire need. Help Gaza survive. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
World-class financial services only at Sapphire Global, your financial partner. If you are looking for Islamic, Sharia, and ethical financial products, look no further. Sapphire Global offers a wide range of financial service offerings from short-term to life and investments. A full-service center with all financial requirements under one brand. Our highly skilled and experienced consultants are ready to help protect your financial future. Contact us on 041 001 0184 or visit our website on www.sapphireglobalfs.com. Sapphire Global is an authorized financial services provider.
Kids these days are smart, and when you're competing for their attention against their smartphones, you need to make smart choices, like using Sunfoil triple refined pure sunflower oil in every meal you make. It's naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether you're cooking, frying, or baking, you get the great tasting results that'll get their attention faster than the latest app. And if that doesn't work, change the Wi-Fi password. Sunfoil. Now we're cooking.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
Welcome back. It's exactly 11:46. I'm talking with Naeema Dangor. She is a social auxiliary worker at Islamic Careline. We're talking about parenting with purpose, and she's just been explaining the different sessions. She did mention there were 6 different sessions. So Naeema, before you continue, depending on time, inshallah, if we do still have time, I will allow you to unpack the balance of the sessions. But you did give us a brief overview of earlier on in the show about the 6 key parenting skills.
Yeah.
Can I ask you which of these skills do parents struggle most with and why?
I think from my experience, I think it's always the relationship management and the responsible disciplining. Because, when it comes to relationship management, in today's times, kids, they actually need to understand that everyone grows up or grew up with rules. And parents need to have a set of rules for the kids. They keep the kids also in terms of being in line, but also besides that, I'm not talking about being ritualistic and things like that, but kids are actually more comfortable when they have certain rules. And they also understand that having rules, they can actually, they know their limits, okay? And then when it comes to disciplining, because of the kind of disciplining that we do with our kids, before it was discipline, our parents would maybe give us a little bit of a shaka or balm or whatever, but now you can't do that. You can't do that with kids because it's a different, totally different ball game. Kids prefer for you to talk to them, to have an understanding with them. It's important to be able to communicate with your kids. And that is where we have a lot of problems because parents cannot communicate with their kids. And that's where we need to teach them the skill of communication. Because once you can communicate with your kids, it makes everything so much easier. Because they understand you and you understand them.
Okay, all right. This line is very bad. I'm not sure how clearly you can hear me, but on your side, it's popping a lot. I do hope that our listeners are not having problems hearing us. I hope and pray that it is going through because it's a very important discussion we're having. Naeema, how can parents balance love and discipline in a way that promotes respect and understanding rather than fear on both sides?
So, it's so important, like I said, kids need to feel loved. They need to feel secure. They need to feel that when they come home, they're not being judged. Or that when they come home, they're coming home to some safe haven. They must be able to come home and be able to talk about everything in terms of, knowing that when we come home, our parents have our back, and they will understand and they will talk to us and they will guide us. It's so important for kids to understand and to have a safe space. Because if they have that safe space, it's easier for them to communicate to you. And because you're allowing them and you have given them the gateway of communication, it becomes easier for them to trust you. So it's important to have trust with the kids as well.
I guess you touched on communication as well, being one of the 6 parenting skills. That's also a very important aspect. So it's communication. And then from an Islamic perspective, how can faith and values support parents in developing these 6 essential skills?
And it's important for us to remember that we are parents, we are not judges, okay? So we need to teach our children that they can come to us. We need to, first of all, the most important thing for every Muslim, I'm talking about the Muslims because I can say that, right? But for every person, is that we need to correct our belief system first. Because if we are good human beings, okay, and we bring up our kids knowing that they understand that, they have to understand their relationship with us, and then obviously, first of all, they need to really understand the relationship with Allah. So if they understand that, and they understand that, if they understand their responsibilities, they speak, and we teach them those responsibilities, then we can teach them that it's important for you. First of all, a simple thing like respect for your parents. Okay, so from being a small kid, they grow up with that, and they understand that. But they cannot be respectful to us if we don't have respect for them. So we have to be the models. We have to be the people to show them that this is the way you behave. Because remember, kids follow what you do. They listen to what you do. They see what you do, and they become what they see and what you do. It's important for us to be good role models, first of all, in order for them to become good people.
What practical advice would you give to parents who feel overwhelmed? And I know there's many such parents. They just feel that they can't cope and they can't do this, or they believe it's too late to change their parenting approach because the child is non-compliant, rude, ill-disciplined, possibly even a bully. Is there still hope for a child like that? And for
There's
parents
always
to adapt their parenting skills?
There's always hope. It's very important for us to understand that we need to take our kids' personality into consideration. Okay, we need to understand that each kid is different. We need to show them the love. We need to show them that we trust them. We need to show them that, you know what, at the end of the day, we respect you. And you must remember, kids may have strong personalities. Each one of us is different. But then we always go back to teaching them and reminding them the obedience to parents is command of Allah. Don't be angry. Never be angry with kids. Just keep reminding them that no matter what religion, Allah is above all. But we always make dua for them. Parents' dua is most important. So it's very important for us to keep making dua for our parents, for our children, for their success and for their future.
Finally, we're going to wrap up now. My final question to you today, Naeema, is what message would you like to leave with parents who are trying to raise emotionally and spiritually balanced children in today's very, very demanding and hectic world?
First of all, listen to your children. Take time out to spend time with our children. We can't expect kids to behave a certain way if we don't teach them. We are the carers. The parents are carers. We are the teachers. We are the guides. And we are the nurturers. And all this falls into the lap of parents. The most important thing is listen to your kids. Hug your kids. Love your kids. And guide your kids. Because all kids need is to be heard. They just need for us to love them. Sometimes when they burst out into tears or if they're so angry, just a simple hug that will calm them down. And immediately going through, why are you feeling this way? Talk to me. Because once understand that they have someone to listen to them, it makes their world so much safer.
Naeema Dangor, a counselor from Islamic Careline, thank you indeed for the insights on positive parenting. Naeema is a social auxiliary worker at the Islamic Careline, and she comes with more than 30 years of experience and absolutely the right person to talk to if you are battling with parenting. Shukran very much. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from you and everyone at Careline Keep us in your duas, and Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.